Hello and welcome back to KD's Business Tips. Michael Lapede here in a short video talking about what are the warning signs in your business when there's cash flow problems, right? Look out for early warning signs of cash flow problems, helping you business owners to act immediately before things escalate, right? The goal is to catch your cash flow problems in advance. Here are the early warning signs of cash flow problems in small business. First of all, late payments. You may be having cash flow problems if you're struggling to pay suppliers and lenders and employees on time. Employees are probably the lowest. They'll always try to get paid on time, but vendors, suppliers, things like that, right? First, usually, if you're already starting to get to that point. Accounts receivable is out of control. There may be cash flow problems if your customers are always late paying you or leaving too much cash tied up in unpaid invoices. That is also a warning sign of cash flow issues. Decreasing bank balances. So if you're constantly watching your bank balance just keep going down and down and down, constantly using overdrafts, credit lines to cover daily operations may be an early warning sign of cash flow problems, depending on if you're seasonal, of course, right? Keep that in mind. Depending too much on credit, overdependence on loans, credit cards to meet your expenses is also a sign of cash flow issues. Delays on growth investments. Your lack of funds have resulted in delaying your equipment purchases, your hiring, your expansion. You just can't do it. That's a sign of cash flow problems. Falling behind on tax obligations. If you have difficulty severing GST, payroll remittance, you're not making your payroll remittance. The penalty and interest is through the roof on that. Income taxes, you're not saving for income tax or making installments. These are signs that you have some cash flow problems. Deteriorating supplier relationship. You're consistently paying your suppliers late, then it may result in, of course, less than favorable relations with them. That's a problem, right? They can impose maybe stricter payment terms on you or even delayed delivery of your products and services. And last on this list is high inventory without sales. So you have very high inventory of products that are not selling, which is typically tying up valuable cash. That's a bad sign of potential cash flow issues coming up. These are the most common early warning signs of cash flow problems that you have to look out for. Of course, there might be some other ones, but catching these signs early will allow you to make necessary adjustments. Some of these adjustments might be renegotiating payment terms, focusing on tightening up your collections process, lessening unnecessary expenses, reviewing your expenses, see what you can cut or minimize, and maybe seeking funding before cash flow is at that critical level so you can get ahead of it as well. So look for warning signs and do something about it if you're seeing these things to minimize your damage that low cash flow could have to your business. It's very important. If you got any questions, we'd love to hear from you. Subscribe if you haven't too, and we'll see you in the next video.